Hi guys, we're back. Yes, this is the first show of the Olympics. This is the track and field agenda. And we are back with a very special guest and a good friend of mine. It's Fanfletics and also the daughter of one of my good friends from way back and a special athlete indeed. That's Brogan McCafferty.
Hi.
Yeah, guys, hold tight because guess what? I got a new intro. Check this out. Wow!
That was fire.
Calm down, people. Calm down. What an intro. What an intro. And welcome, guys. Yes, it's the start of the Olympics, and we've got the start of a new show. It's the track and field agenda. My name is Yabba Forbes, and today I'm joined by two special people to me. First of all, I'm coming to you, the big man, the guy I've got to know recently really well. Yes, the love of athletics we shared. We never did any work together. And unfortunately, he's left me. He's gone for bigger and better things. But he's got a new channel called Fanfletics. I'll just put this up here, guys. If you want to look, it's at Fanfletics TV. And if you love athletics, go and check this out. So over to you, Mr. Fanfletics. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. This is the most exciting time of the year for me. The championships always falls in the summer. My birthday is sunny, hopefully. And I'm just ready to go. It's about to be that time. So, yeah, let's go.
So Fanfletics, just tell me a little about your history, because obviously you've got a big love of track and field, more so than any other sport. Just tell us about how it all began for you with track and field.
Well, I used to run a bit of track in high school. I thought I was good. And then little trip over to the States, moved house and realized I wasn't that good. Came back and I was like, well, I'm not going to be an athlete. Maybe, it's over for me. And then, I just came to love watching the sport so much. And, I felt like being in the stadiums, watching it, rewind, pause, rewind, play, rewind, pause, rewind, play. I could tell you my favorite race from every championship going back to 1988, and I'm going to keep stacking them up. So that's me. That's my love for it. And I just want to keep bringing it to people. So, yeah, that's me.
Okay, so guys, don't forget, we will keep plugging the channels, Fanfletics, and go and check that out for the energy and the vibes that we get from Mr. Fanfletics when it comes to track and field. Big up, Brogan. Now, let me just take you way back. One of my best mates when I was growing up was Gary, your dad, Brogan. Gary was a great runner. We used to play football together, but he's a great long-distance runner. Always had the lungs for it, and still to this day, legendary what he used to do. But he's trained you up, and you are a special athlete yourself, aren't you? And you've been on the show before, obviously with Marilyn Okoro as well, and she was saying hi to you. But Brogan, just tell us again, for people who don't know, why you love track and field athletics so much, and about your story, your journey to get into that 11-second mark.
I started PE sessions, just running, and it was more just, you just want to beat the girl next to you. It wasn't really like, oh, I'm going to go somewhere. And then I realized I was beating the boys. I was like, okay, I'm quick. I can run. And then my dad, obviously being a long distance runner, very horribly, he put me in for cross country. So I was running like 5Ks and I never liked it. I cried every single race the whole way round. And then I was like, got to the summer and I was like, I'm quick and I can get to my top speed very quickly. So I'm going to start sprinting. Broke his heart because he wanted me to be long distance. But and then I fell in love with it. I just was like, I know I can get on that line. Nothing else matters. No what, I can't hear anything. I'm focused on this, like this race, that's that. And I can win. And I just love winning. So, and it's individual. So bar the relay, you're running for yourself, you're running on your own. And it's just, I just love it. I like winning. So
Fanfletics, any questions for the athlete?
Yeah, I mean, I really wanted to know. Like you said, you love winning. I mean, that's a great love to have. Yeah, when you said, I know, yeah, but you said top speed or PB. What is a PB at the
My
moment?
PB at the moment is 12:22.
Nice.
So I'm hoping when I get back into my training, I'm going to go sub 12 because I know I can't. Like I've done it in training, but obviously training time don't count. Do you know what I mean? And I think it was a fluke because my friend was doing the timings. It wasn't my coach. So I think they lied to me really, but I'm hoping under that 12 and get to maybe 11.92. That'll be my goal. 11.92.
Right down the bottom of your shoe, yeah? Right down the bottom of your shoe.
I used to have my PBs written on the side of my shoes, and then before every I would tap the insides, and that would be like my ritual before I'd get into the blocks.
Let that be a winning one.
All right, guys, if you're watching, tune in, give us some comments, ask some questions. We're talking everything about Olympics now. Every 4 years, but obviously the last Olympics was, 3 years ago due to the lockdown and everything else. But this is what athletes aspire to. You want to have your best season in Olympic year. And when it's every 4 years, I mean, you don't want to miss out. You only probably get 2, maybe 3 opportunities in a lifetime to be the best in the world. So we're going to talk first. I'm going to get up the opening. Well, we know I don't need to get it up, but let's talk about the main event. I'm going to ask you two, which event in the next coming days are you most looking forward to? Is it the 100 meters men or women? And which one should we discuss first?
Men.
Ooh. All right, we'll start. Go on.
All right. We do men, yeah? Okay, brilliant. Obviously, the world record holder is.
Does he need an introduction?
9.58, Usain Bolt. Fantastic time. No fear of the world record get broken this year?
I don't think so. Absolutely not. I don't think that there is any chance at the moment. I don't think anybody at the moment has the tools or the levers today to break that. Now, that's not to say that it's not going to happen because everything's possible. But at the moment, I don't think there's anybody that's out there that is ready to break the record in the 1. Now, that's not what I'm saying about the 2, but we're going to stick to the 1 right now.
Okay, so Fanfletics, let's just talk about the contenders, realistic contenders who can win gold. What time is it going to take to win gold, do you reckon? And who are name me 3, and I'm going to come on to Brogan as well. Name me, right, one at a time. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Name me a contender for the gold medal and just give a little punchy summary as to why. Starting with you, Fanfletics, and then you, Brophy.
Right, so Brogan. I'm going to stick my neck out and go with the new guy. I'm going to say Kashane Thompson. I think Kashane Thompson can run a 9.74. Now, we've seen a 9.74 take a championship before, and we've obviously seen it take 9.8 for the majority of the last few Olympics or above. So I think that if Shane Thompson can continue his rise, I think we're looking at a 9.74. Now, there are some, dark horses in there, but I'm not necessarily the guy to root for Noah Lyles like everybody else. So I think that the title is not going to go to America. I think it's a toss-up, and I think Jamaica might be coming back for it.
Okay, let's stick on this guy Thompson because Brogan, he's come out of nowhere. It's only last year, sort of came second to Coleman, ran a 9.85, I think. What are your thoughts on him? I mean, is he holding back? He hasn't run much on the circuit. Do you agree with Fanfletics that a 9.74 is in the locker? Is he holding something back here?
I think he definitely is. I think he can run quicker, maybe close to the world record, not close enough where you're going to fear that it's going to be taken over, but he's got something there that you're not even going to expect it, and he'll just pull through. His top speed is amazing. He gets out of the blocks quick. He could push anyone, any athlete, and he'll be right there up with them.
Yeah, agreed.
Just quickly come to the comment here. Big up Saki Guna. Saying Noah Lyles, Kashane Thompson, never count out 6-time Olympic medalist Andre DeGrasse. I think we can discount him this time around. I haven't seen anything from Andre DeGrasse this season to suggest that he would even get on to the final, to be honest. I had the list of the times this season, but obviously Thompson's run a 9.77. And he was cruising, looking left and right like he was crossing the road. What are we saying about this guy? I mean, he's come from nowhere. Is it right to sort of, as Brogan, you were saying earlier, in training sometimes you can run faster times. Do you think with what you saw, you've done 3 rounds in the Jamaican Olympic trials, and he's run once or twice on the circuit as well. So what makes you think both of you guys, what makes you think he's holding back and there's more in the locker? Is he not running flat out? I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I think, especially with the Olympics, the rounds are a lot more spread out. You have a lot more time to recover. You can pick apart your race. You can analyze with your coach. You can train a little bit, obviously not a lot because you're at a competition. But if he can make those times in rounds where they're a lot closer together, he can definitely make those times and better with a little bit of rest, a little bit more recovery in the Olympics, 100%.
But
Absolutely.
There's some other variables here, isn't there, Fanfletics, about running under pressure. This is Olympics. It's not the Jamaican Charles. You're not running at home. You're not running against a field like Sipho Flowers used to do, run fast in a field where he's expected to win. What about the issue about having pressure and being around someone like Noah Lyles in the back room and all this kind of thing? The stomach goes. Do you think he's got the credentials in that respect?
I'm going to take you back a few years. I'm going to take you back just a few years to a certain Italian man who came out of nowhere and who I watched from that year, the Europeans. I watched him indoor, I watched him outdoor, and I watched him slowly improving. And every time I watched him improve, I watched him seem so calm under pressure. And you'll get to know my channel, you'll get to know me. My favorite runner is a Sipho Flowers, like, speed, technique, form, everything. But there is that mental element. And so I think before we can say anything, sadly, we're going to have to watch him race under that pressure to see how he goes. There's some people that can really handle it. There's some people that thrive off of it. Which one is he going to be? And I think from watching him, I mean, let's be a little bit real, though. There's that element of, well, let's cross the line looking as smooth as we can. Let's try and look like we're not breaking a sweat, unlike me right here. But do we or do we not think that that's real? Or is that them, doing a Sherika and going flat out, but still, holding up your face like you're not? So I want to see him, I want to see him a bit more, and I haven't got to, but I think he's going to take it at the moment on what we know. So I think he can handle it. Let's see though.
So he's definitely one of the favourites. It's just the unknown factor, isn't it, about the stage? Can he deal with it on the big stage? Someone who can deal with it on the big stage, but hasn't got an Olympic gold medal just yet, is Noah Lyles. Were you going to mention him next, Brogan?
I am, because, I mean, it's obvious when you mention the 100 metres, the 200 metres, Noah Lyles' name is going to come up. He is running top form at the moment. He could run quicker, and I think everyone they don't really look at all the other athletes because it's Noah Lyles. He's the one that everyone thinks is going to break the record and all of this. And he could, and he might do. You never know, because the wind could be legal, but very windy, could help him. I don't want him to break the world record, if I'm honest, because I am a die-hard Usain Bolt fan. I honestly, his documentary, I Am Bolt, I've watched it probably about 100 times. Oh, wow. I watch it all the time. So if anyone was to break it, I'd be heartbroken. But Noah Lyles, I'd be distraught.
Just let's discuss Noah Lyles. So obviously he's mainly a 200-meter runner, but he's transferred to become a good 100-meter runner recently. He's got his time down from 9.84 this season. He's run 9.81 at London recently as well. Yep. What's it take for someone with his skill set to become a good 100-meter runner? What's he had to do technically to sort of, reduce the time and obviously get a better start and the transitions as well? Just talk us through his race and what makes him a contender right now. What's he done to change his style?
Changing his style from 200 to the 100. The 100, you have very, very limited space for error. If you make a mistake, that could be your race over with. There's very rare you can bring it back, or it's very hard to. Whereas in the 200, you've got a little bit longer. Obviously, Lyles can keep his top speed for a very long time. So the 200, obviously, he's going to thrive in. It's a long distance. He can keep that speed a lot longer than other people. In the 100, it is literally you are racing like you are when you're kids. You're just racing to win. Some people, like Usain Bolt, can have not the most amazing start, but if they can get top speed quick, that's fine. Noah Lyles has to change from having something that could be a slower start, which he does because he's a little bit taller. It's just the dynamics of how your body is when you get into the blocks. He's had to change that into having a very quick start, getting through his drive phase and getting top speed before anyone else, which is hard for people who have trained for years just for the one, not really mixing with the two, because they know it like the back of their hand. It's just muscle memory. But changing, it's a lot harder.
Fanfletics, any thoughts on Noah Lyles? What's he had to do to sort of become a good 100-meter runner?
Well, apparently the nails helped, but no, I do. The nails.
Oh,
but,
okay.
I think, we've all watched Noah Lyles' progression over the last few years, and there's no denying that he is a great talent and a great force for athletics good. He's bringing the sport back like I want to do in my own way. He's bringing the sport back to the kids, and he's inspiring people. The problem is when you do something like that and when you switch it between the two, are you giving yourself a weakness in your strongest event to try to combat both? And I would say, I think that he has the biggest chance, or had the biggest chance, of breaking the two. And when he went down to the one, I think that, dare I say it, I don't think that he's in shape to break both. Now, is he going to win the title? That's the different story question. And I think he would say it's about winning titles. He said that. And I think that he could do it. I think potentially the way he's changed, you see his body shape has changed a little bit. He's got a little bit bigger. He holds himself differently when he's running a little bit. His carriage is a little bit lower. His stride is a bit lengthened. You see the difference in him. And I really, really have respected the way that he has transitioned. He saw where the big guys were. He saw where the big mouths were. And he said, you know what? I can do that too. And he saw Fred Curley do it. And he said, well, hold on a minute. You came down from the 4. So I'm just on the 2. Let me come and show you what I can do. So greatest respect to him. But I've got a wild card in my back pocket, and I'm going to bring it out.
Hold on. Before you go to the wild card, I'm just going to get up the best times this year. And I'm going to put up the screen. Just let me know when the screen's up, guys. This is for the 100 meters for 2024. And we're going to go through the other contenders as well. So we discussed Thompson. We've just done Lyles, sorry. That's Nels. I'm thinking Nels. You got me thinking about Nels.
Not you.
1 second. Let's see what we can get up here. Going to get the best times this year. Is that up, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So let's have a look. As you can see, is that clear? 977.
Yeah.
We've mentioned Thompson. We haven't mentioned this guy. Shall we talk about the Kenyan?
We could talk.
Okay. Make it brief then. What's your thoughts on Ferdinand?
God, Brogan, you first. You're a runner.
For when I first saw him, I think my first ever time seeing him was at the Commonwealth in Birmingham when he won. And to be honest, my bets weren't on him. I was thinking he's shown up. He's running a fluke. I thought he was running a fluke. But I look into these athletes. I watch some of their videos that they post, and he trains hard. He's bigger than most of the other athletes on the line. He's stockier. He's more muscly, and all of that. I don't think he is a contender in the Olympics.
But his run here, like Brogan, he's run 979, almost his personal best. His personal best is 977. This season, only in June, he's run 979. Why are we dismissing him from winning, becoming a medal contender? Is it because he's flopped previously in big championships?
I feel like he might. There's been times where he's thrived, like the Commonwealth. Like, I know it's not the Olympics, but it is a big competition. But there's also been smaller races, just like some diamond leagues, that he just hasn't performed. And you need to keep consistent throughout the season. And I don't understand, sometimes there's races where it's the wind, you haven't prepared properly. But it seems that there's more, how do I say it? There's more not good races than there are great races.
Okay, Bill Ferdinand, Fanfletics, and the other guys on the list. Obviously, Noah Lyles next, and then you've got other contenders with Seville. Christian Coleman is obviously not running. Richardson from South Africa, the 986. Sembini, the nearly man. Ben Eric, Fred Curley, and Tobago. Just talk to us about a few of them names, please.
Now, yeah, but you know me, so you know who my wild card is. But I'm going to leave that for just a second. I want to talk about Ferdinand Omanyala. The first time I saw him, I was like, Harry Akins-Ariti, is that you? Like the size of him, the way he runs, But the problem is, and Brogan, you touched on this, and people may say, I'm not a current runner. I haven't run for many years. I've never run at a full professional level, so maybe I don't really know what I'm saying. But the bigger the muscle, the more muscle you got up there, you got to move that muscle, and that's more muscle to tense up. And we've seen him tense up. We used to see Harry AA tense up when he used to come towards the end of the line, or when people would creep up behind him. And I always thought Harry AA had it too. Ferdinand Omanyala, I think when you see him flat out, when you see him on home soil, he's got it. But I think that when it comes to the big occasions, I don't know if he has got it. Now, my wild card, Leslie Tobogo. Over the last 2 years, he's been my favorite runner in the 1 and 2, barring the Olympic champion. And let's give all respect to the Olympic champion, because I don't care what people say, the way that he trains, the way that he does or doesn't show up. That guy, and you said consistency, he showed consistency in Olympic year. He wouldn't have won it the year before, and he wouldn't have won it the year after. But in Olympic year, he progressed, he showed consistency, and he won that title.
Marcel Jacobs, you're talking about.
No, not Marcel Jacobs, yeah. And I purposely didn't say his name because people don't put enough respect on it. So if you don't know who I'm talking about, that's your fault. But no, let's see Tobogo, he's only run a 9.88, but he's run a 19.5. And when we talk about these people being multifaceted these days, running the 1s and the 2s, the 2s and the 4s.
300-meter world record holder.
300, yeah, I was about to get to that.
400-meter in the top 10 this year. Crazy.
Yes. His range is amazing, and I think he doesn't seem to be as big a showman, but he's got it in him. So if he decides one day, or even over the last few weeks, you know what? I'm in the 1, 2, and 4 for my country. I might just want to drop down to where the mouths are and where the money is. I definitely think, and he's the only man we've seen run Lyles close at Lyles' best on a couple of occasions. But in that last straight, in that time when Lyles is in full flow, at arguably his best part of the race, that Leslie Tobogo, for me, is the only person we've seen hold on to him. So that's my wild card.
All right, there are others we haven't touched on yet. I'll just go quickly talk about Fred Curley. Fred Curley is the quickest man in the Olympics this year with his personal best. His personal best is 9.76. That's faster than Thompson, faster than Ferdinand, faster than all these guys. Fred Curley has been bigging it up, talking really positively. I believe he's holding back something, and I've heard from word on the street from someone very who's in my ear, who knows a lot, really knows a lot what's going on, that he could be a factor this year. So Fred Curley, I'm just going to, before I do that, just go to the other comments now, because obviously people are chiming in. Big up, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I've got money on DeGrasse, getting medals, says Saki. Is it Saki Guna? Yes, Saki Guna. I don't want to be saying something else. Sassy Guna. Will the decathlon be discussed? Obviously, it's starting in the next couple of days. Some have always said this event is the best, it shows the true best athlete in the world. That is true. I mean, remember Daley Thompson, no doubt about it. I want to say special shout out to my brother, Colin. Colin has helped me out with all the production and the great intro that you saw at the start of the show. And I will be dropping that again at the end of the show. But Colin, thank you so much. Genius, absolute genius when it comes to the technical side of things. Another one here from Sasaki Guna. Jamaican women pull out. Jackson, she's pulled out, obviously, from the 100 meters. She's going to focus on her favorite event, the 2. And again, saying, as you can see, DeGrasse has not been running in on the circuit. He's ready to shock the world yet again for the 3rd time. Only Bolt could beat him previously. I think you're living in 2018 or 16 or something. Surely not. He's only run 10.96 or something, 9.9 or 6 or something. Big up to We Do the Damn Thing. How you doing? Welcome. Do you think we will see a world record? Yeah, I say plenty world records in this tournament, this competition. We've seen over the last few years, it's just been crazy. Big up to Munsey Talks. Big up, he says, to the swimming lads and the relay winning gold at the moment. Okay, he's tuning into the Olympics right now. Love the swimming events, he's saying here. And no mention of Kassane Thompson. We just talked about him.
He missed the start. He missed the start.
Where are you? All right. Okay, that's it. So let's just couple more names. Fred Curley, Siembe, the South African guy, who, let's just say, give us a 1, 2, 3 medals, gold, silver, bronze. Start with you, Fanfletics. And let's just drop it because we're going to go on to another event.
I'm going to say it's hard because, head and heart. Well, I want to see Lamont Marcel Jacobs hold his title. Let's see if Tobago step into the game. And I want to see DeGrasse pick up a medal. But I think that if Tobago is not flying, if Lamont Marcel is not in the form he was, I'm afraid to say sweep because I hate that word unless it's the Jamaican women. But yeah, so let's see. Noah Lyles has done a lot. And if he wins it, I won't be upset. But I do want to see it go to. I do want to see Kashane Thompson take it, just purely on what we've seen this year.
Gold, silver, bronze.
Thompson, Tobago, Curly. Thompson, Tobago, Curly.
Wow. So there's no Noah Lyles getting the medal in the 100 meters.
I don't think he's the fastest.
Okay. Over to you. Brogan.
I
Gold,
think
silver, bronze.
my head's saying Lyles, Tobago, and then Thompson. I think Noah Lyles he likes pressure. He can run well under pressure. And so all of them can, like, they wouldn't be 100 meters if they can't run well under some sort of pressure. But Noah Lyles always just pulls something out of somewhere. And I feel like he's ready to pull something out of the bag here. Even though I don't want it, but I feel like he is going to.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but his top speed is undeniable. Let's give credit where credit is due. We've seen him creep up on people on the line a couple of times. His top speed is undeniable. So,
okay, I'm going. It's really tough, isn't it? It's not like conclusive. Someone coming into it, but I have to go. I think Thompson is holding back. Interviews. I've been reading a lot of interviews, and the trainer is as well as saying some things that make you think, okay, there's more in the locker. He's obviously running a lot faster. The only question mark for me is, can he deliver on the big stage? We're about to find out. I'm going to say Thompson will get gold. I'm saying this because what he did 3 rounds in Jamaica Charles, he ran 9.82, 9.85, and then 9.77, I believe. Was it in the final? Yeah, it was 9.77. So that to me is so consistent and consistently faster than everyone else. So if he can do that, because he's only doing the 100 meters, I think he's the gold medal favorite, and I think he's going to win the gold medal. Close behind him, I'm going Fred Curley, and third, I'm going Oblique Seville. I think Noah Lyles.
Yes.
I think Noah Lyles is going to. I think he's going to be out of the medals. I know it sounds silly saying that because he's the big guy, and I think sometimes he's the face of athletics right now. But he's going. Apparently, I think it's a bit unfair because he's going for the 100 meters, he's going for the 200 meters, and he's going for the 4x4 and a 4x1 as well. And I
They're not letting him in the 4x4. They're not letting him in the 4x4.
They're not now.
No. They're not letting him in the 4x4.
Confirmed?
Yeah. As far as I've heard, and I've heard this yesterday and the day before, I think I can quote the greatest Michael Johnson. They're not letting him in the 4x4. So
yeah, because there's a young 16-year-old guy, came fourth, I think, in the
Quincy Watts.
Sorry,
are we talking Quincy? Is it Quincy Watts?
Quincy, yeah. I think he should get an opportunity rather than Lyles, but it happens.
He's there for them. He's there for them. He's there.
They made her run the 4x4 as well, and they couldn't catch those up Russians. All right, should we go to the women's 100? Is that exciting? I'm going to be really quick on this because I don't think it's that exciting. Obviously, Sharika Jackson's pulled out. There's only one favourite for me. Discuss. Who is that?
Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price.
It's not 2008. All right. Let's talk about this girl, Sha'Carri Richardson. Is she the face of athletics? I mean, what's her PB? What's she capable of? And is she a clear head and shoulders above everyone else gold medal favorite?
I don't think she's head above everyone else. I really don't. I watched the documentary of Sprint on Netflix.
Yeah.
I watched that, and she was very open about how she cracks under pressure. She doesn't like it. She doesn't like her pressure. She gets very introverted. She keeps to herself. She panics a bit. And I think Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price is the woman. She in my head, she's always going to be the winner of the 100 meters. Even if she doesn't, she is the best of the best. She does everything. and I would love to see her win another Olympic gold medal.
Is she in gold medal form there? It says here, Shelly-Ann Fraser, she's not even on the list here. We've got Tia Clayton and Sharika Jackson running 9.84, 9.86. Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is not just run 9. What's she got? 10. There you go, 10.91 this season. I don't think she's in gold medal contention. They've got Sears running 10.77. We've got Julian Alfred. I'm going to come to you on that one, Fanfletics, because you seem to love this girl. Alfred, talk to us about her. Is she a contender?
Well, actually, if you look at Sears is not going to the Olympics. She didn't make it through the trials. Now, the American trials are one of those, great tournaments in and of themselves. And if I remember rightly, she didn't make it through. I think it was Sha'Carri, it was Melissa Jefferson, and it was TT Terry. Yeah, TT Terry. Now, TT Terry, I've been watching her for years, watching her come up just short, and I've always wanted her to do something big, and I'm really happy for her that she's made it as an individual. So big up to her. I will say, though, that Melissa Jefferson is that one. She's that one at the moment. If you look at that form, she often gets drawn on outside lanes. She's got some good form. So don't sleep on her. But my favorite line, don't sleep on Julian Alfred. I'm telling you, Julian Alfred, for me, at the moment, is one of those future women of sprinting. We've seen her take the world indoor this year, and that is the first of many medals. So for me, her progression is great. She's down under 10.8 now. I think Julian Alfred is the biggest contender for this medal. And if Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce is going to be on the podium with anyone else, put her there with Julian Alfred and Sha'Carri Richardson, because Sha'Carri, as she calls herself, Sha'Carri is wicked. And we talked about this, Yabba, about one of the greatest races I saw this whole year was her finish at 200 meters with her hands out, like flying, and the top speed she was attaining then would have had the grass going, how do I get that? How do we get that? So I'm telling you, it's going to be fire. And Elaine being out and Sherika being not in that is heartbreaking. But there is such a depth at the moment in women's 100 meters. We are back, I think. And I see your face. But if you can say that with Elaine Thompson-Era out and with Sherika out, you're still looking at people having to go under 10.75 to win it, then I think we're looking at a good games.
Yeah, I just think Sha'Carri is too much for these other girls. I would have loved to see Elaine Thompson in 2016 kind of form, and obviously Sharika Jackson, and obviously our girl, the Pocket Rocket, on fire as well. That would have been fantastic. You want the competition, don't you? And you want everyone to be at their best when it comes to the Olympics. And I just don't think, unfortunately, it's gone a bit flat for me with excitement over the 100 meters for the women. I just think it's a straight gold for Sha'Carri. But let's just go through a few comments, guys. Going back, what we talked about with the gold, silver, and bronze with the men. We do the damn thing saying Thompson first, Lyles second, Seville third. We can't argue with this. This is good analysis, guys. Lyles, Thompson, Tobago, says Sasaguna. For the 200, we haven't got there yet, but the grass, obviously you would be saying that. You love the grass, though. Are you Canadian or something? Ben Eric and Lyles coming third. Well, I don't see that happening. And obviously relays as well. And the dark horse is Alfred, says we do damn thing. You're damn right. I mean, I'll tell you this now. Fanfletics put me onto her last year and said, watch this girl. And yeah, she has progressed, most certainly. So good shout. You're a prophet, my man. Said upset alert, Alfred, Sha'Carri Richardson, and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce getting a bronze, which would be like a gold for us on this channel here. And finally, we all said St. Lucian Alfred. So she seems to be someone who is causing a lot of excitement. Guys, let's talk about the 400 meter for women, please, because there's an Irish girl who's another one that Fanfletics put me onto a couple of years ago. Talk to us about this Irish girl. Is she a genuine gold medal contender for the 400 meters? I'm going to get the details up, but tell us about her, please.
So Rashida Adeleke, she's been running for the last few years at the height of her age group. She's been extending those legs down that back straight for the relay team, for the mixed relay team in the 400, and she's been showing the prowess and just the style of someone greater than her years. I've been saying it for the last 2 years, not even just from last year, that she's one to watch. And to be absolutely 100%, watching that European final a few weeks ago, I was heartbroken but so excited because Kazmarek's another one who's been coming up. And Kazmarek has that last 100 meters where she seems to go from 6th to 1st or 5th to 4th and to 2nd, sorry. And, it's amazing to watch. But Adeleke is a bit of a front runner too. And I think that she, for me, is the one. I will say, don't sleep on Sawa, because we all saw that 48.14 in Doha, which for me was the greatest 400-meter race ever, watching Sherika Jackson come third behind, Shauna Mulawibo. So Sawa Idnasa, she's coming back. But for me, Rashida Adeleke, for me, that's the one. Yeah.
This is competitive, isn't it? I would say it's really competitive. It's hard to pick a winner. Brogan, do you know much about these 400-meter runners? Been watching them this year. So obviously, Price has got the fastest time this year with 48.57. We got McLaughlin, who's obviously running the hurdles. We count her out. The Polish girl with 48.9. Yes. Then Adeleke 49.07. And then we got Fenka Bowl, who's clearly not running the 400 meters. Paulino, who was a world champion, she's not running too well, but you don't know how she's going to perform. And then there's Clara as well from the Dutch girl. Obviously Nasa is coming back from suspension. Maybe she does want to show true form. But is this a competitive race? Talk to us, Brogan, about the 400 meters. What do you see happening here?
400 meters is one of the hardest events ever. Like my coach used to put me in for it, and I used to be like, I have so much respect for these runners. And it's ridiculous. You're sprinting the whole way. You haven't got a moment to kind of relax a bit and I can slow down, or you haven't got that time. I was actually at the Diamond League in London and I saw the Irish girl run and I was in awe. I was like, she doesn't look like she's trying. It looks like she could go to another gear, and she could, if she needed to, in that pressure, she could fly. And I think she will. I think she's definitely a contender.
Yeah, myself. What about the Polish girl? Then she seems to come from nowhere. I mean, let's do a gold, silver, bronze, because we're going to go into other events as well. I've got no idea. This is why I brought this up. I think it's very competitive, very hard to call. But we do damn things saying Paulino, Adeleke, and Price in that order. Paulino is odds-on favourite, you see. So on betting odds are saying Paulino, even though she's not run the fastest, it doesn't matter. You don't want to show your true form until it really matters, do you? And she's a true champion, no doubt about it. Price, Kazaremek, and Paulino says there. And 400-meter Price for me, says Sakiguna. So we discussed the guys. Give us a gold, silver, bronze. Start with you, Fanfletics. What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, I'm ripping up what everyone just said. Paulino has done really well this year. Now, she doesn't seem to have done really well based on times, but she's won her races, and that's the point. She seems to have tired a bit. She seems to have struggled a little bit, but she has won her races, and, the titles come from being the winner. Price is a wild card for me. I've not seen her run too often, so I'm really excited to see what she does. Adeleke, I've spoken about her already. For me, that's the gold medalist if she runs her best race, and unless Paulino can step up from what she's done this year, because she has won her races, but she hasn't truly been fully tested. Kazmarek, you say she comes out of nowhere. I'm secretly a massive fan of the Polish women's team. I watched their 4x4 come up over the years and eventually get to be European champions, get to be world medalists, and then split up into the mixed relay, and they're the mixed relay Olympic, debutante medalists or winners, champions. So Kazmarek comes from some good stock. And she has, had to rise through the Polish ranks, beating the likes of Sweetie Ercetic and some of the other big names there to, really take on and become the best Polish runner. So she's fought and she's earned her place up there. I think personally, you're looking at Adeleke, you're looking at Paulino, and you're looking at Kazmarek. I don't think there are many other people on earth that are going to challenge them. Special shout out for Nikisha Price and for Amber Anning as well, our British hope.
Gold, silver, bronze, please, Brophy.
I want Adeleke to get gold 100%. I mean, who doesn't? It's like she's a talent. She has so much talent. It's unbelievable. Is her name Clara from the Netherlands?
Yes.
I became a massive fan of her, and I've seen her when she did the World Indoors. She was she was running good time. She was right up there next to Bowl. She just couldn't hold on that little bit longer. But I think with the pressure of Bowl not being there, she might thrive. And we know she can run fast times. She's proved herself time and time again, but she's always just somehow got clipped or not quite done it. But I think this year she could definitely a contender, and obviously Price.
You said a really good thing there about Lika Klava, because she did step up this year in the indoors, and she has obviously been, I think does she train with Bowl?
Yeah.
I know that she's right. They're friends. You see them, their camaraderie, and so she's really stepped up alongside her. But it's important to say, if you're PB in an Olympic year, you know, it says a lot. And she's PB this year, indoors and out, I think. Lakeisha Price is PB'd, and I'm British. I want to say a special shout out to Lavia Nielsen for going sub 50 recently. You know, Lavia and Lena have gone through their struggles, and they've really been that face of like underdog British athletics. So, you know, Lena Nielsen as well in qualifying for the 4 hurdles, and Lavia, you know, going sub 50. You know, that's got to put you near a final. You know,
guys. So we do the damn ting, not thing, ting. You must be Jamaican. Said the Polish girl's a dark horse, but reckons she get run out, and the field is too strong for Klava. So yeah, that's the 400 meters. That'd be a good event. I want to now talk about, we're in the UK, obviously. I want to talk about an event where we got a genuine gold medal contender, and that is Matthew Hudson Smith. The 400 meters. He's smashed the European record. There was a long period of time where Roger Black and all these guys were running 44.5s as the UK record, and what's his name, Slurgen, the German guy who held it, the European record for a long time from the 80s. But he's gone under 44 seconds this year. He ran 44.09 or something, and then in London the other day, I mean, he just performed. This is a guy who's come on leaps and bounds since he's gone to America. Similar to Mo Farah, when Mo Farah went out there and came back as a world-class performer. And this guy is a serious contender for gold for the UK, for Great Britain. What are your feelings on the rise of Matthew Hudson Smith? I'm going to come to you, Brogan.
He is amazing. It is that simple. There's no words for him. I see him at competitions. I see him when I go and watch the races. You see him everywhere. He is honestly so talented. He trains hard. He doesn't just kind of like does what he needs to do. He'll go above and beyond. If he sees someone else running a quick time, he's going to try and run quicker. He is definitely a force to be reckoned with, 100%.
And he's run a PB in his 200 as well this year, beating the likes of the best of the British had to come on as well. So I think, what is it, Brogan? Is it about going to America, getting sort of a new lease of life and putting his head down, training with better quality athletes? Is that what's stepped him up?
Yeah, and it could also just be the programs out there are different to here. They're very, very intense. They're critical of every little thing. If there's something you can change to make it better, you change it, you do it. It's a lot more like particular. And I think him going out there, focusing solely on getting better, this is what I'm going to do to run this time. He's come back, he's done it. He's going to do something amazing again. I want him. There's no one else. I won't even name second and third. Matthew Hudson Smith has to win in my eyes.
But we go back to last year. I mean, he front ran that 400 meters. You can run a 400 meter in splits, can't you? Sort of pace yourself. Do you think he made a mistake last year by sort of going all out and getting pipped on the line? Do you think he'd sort of amend that this year going into the final? Coming to you next, Fanfletics, after. Do you want to know?
Going out hard can work for some people, but it can be detrimental to other people. If you go out too hard and you know you haven't got anything left, you're going to get passed on that last 100, like they're just walking past you. But I think now how he executes his race, he pushes out hard. He doesn't slow down, but he relaxes himself. He knows that he's in a lot of his races. Recently, he's been in control of the race. Now, whether he's going to be in control of the race at the Olympics, you don't know. But he seems to be very calm. He's relaxed. He uses the people on his outside to get where he needs to be. And as soon as he comes off that last bend, if he's ahead and he's in a good condition, I don't think anyone's catching him.
Wow, great stuff there, Brogan. Just quickly before I come to you, Fanfletics, we do the damn ting, says Hudson Smith has done all the right things this year to put him in serious medal contention, working on his speed in 200. He now has the package to deliver. Big up to you. Also saying Hudson Smith has a great coach in Lance Brawman, who creates champions through his program. I imagine saying there. And prediction here with Quincy Hall, who Fanfletics wants to talk about. Morales, Williams, and Hudson Smith getting a bronze. We're not even mentioning Stephen Gardner. Is Stephen Gardner out, or did he get injured early this season? Because he's someone who I think is elite, head and shoulders above all these guys with a personal best of 43.50, I think. Over to you, Fanfletics.
Did you say head and shoulders above the rest of them because of his height, or did you say it because you think he is? Because I want to say, obviously, I think he's a 43.48 guy. So obviously he is that guy in terms of the times. But I think that there's pressure that comes with the type of body that he's got. And he's proven himself to be delicate. Matthew Hudson Smith, he's strong. I, as a British fan, I'm just, so enamored of the guy's progress, the work that he's done, particularly with the great Denise Lewis, one of our greatest champions ever. I think that she's made it very clear the work that they've done mentally, psychologically. And it's just been really great to see him come through. And to see the disappointment of getting silvers and bronzes in his face suddenly, so I really think that this is his year. And I hate to say use a cliche, but this is his time. This is his medal, I think, to lose. The problem is that you've got two guys who come raggedy down the home straight. I've heard commentators say, "Oh, their form's all gone. Their form's terrible." Oh, but they won. Quincy Hall and is it Antonio Watson of Jamaica? Both of them. I think Antonio Watson is the world champion. Yeah, I think Quincy Hall is the US. And I think these two guys, they've shown themselves to be battlers and fighters down the home straight. And with the former 400-meter runner here, I'm telling you, if you come into the home straight, yeah.
PB.
I'm not saying it. No,
okay.
I'm not in this forum, but no. I will say, if you come into the home straight with as much energy as Antonio Watson, as Quincy Hall, you're a danger to anybody. And when it's a front runner like Matthew Hudson Smith, it's all mental. It's all mental. Let's not write off, obviously, Michael Norman. I see in the comments, we do the damn thing knows what's going on because he's saying don't write off Michael Norman, one of the greatest American runners as well. Chris Morales Williams, I saw that indoor race. I saw the amazement on his face when he realized how much he'd opened up. So I think he's a good, shout there for a medal. But for me, if you look at the PBs, Matthew Hudson Smith's 43.74, Quincy Hall 43.80. I think that it's going to be a fun race, and I think the men's and the women's four for me are set up as some of the greatest that we're going to see this year.
I'm going to name maybe possibly even greater race for the British team. Coming to the women, it's the 800 meters. Wow.
800 meters. Yes.
What is going on? What is going on with 800 meters? It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, Marilyn Okoro, she's a friend of the show. She's been on the show with us before. She's run, I think, 157, 158 PB. And she's done that at Crystal Palace a long time ago. It's just amazing how they progress. The other day, what did she run, Keely Hodgkinson? She ran 154 something.
Yeah, she ran
front running as well. Outstanding. But it's not just her in the British team, is there, Fanfletics? Talk to us about the other athletes running who seem to be, when you have someone performing that well, they seem to carry other athletes through, don't they? And we've got girls now all running under 2 minutes who could possibly medal as well. Let's talk the 800 meters. Start with you, Fanfletics. Break it down for us. Can Britain get gold this time around? And who are the other contenders?
Jamaicans will hate me, but I'm calling sweep. Sweep.
No way.
It's a sweep. It's a sweep. Gemma Reekie is not going to let that fourth place stand. That fourth place from the last time, she is not having it. Every time you see her running, every time she goes into an interview, she literally has that fourth place in her mind, and she is not going to. You saw her last race at I think it was the London Diamond League behind Keely Hodgkinson when that was the strongest that she's ever run, and it proved itself in it being a PB. She is fire this year. I'm telling you, she is going to come for it. And when you see Phoebe Gill running a 157 in her first full focus on the 800-meter year, because this is a 400-meter runner as well, as far as I'm aware, Phoebe Gill, and to run a 157 there aren't many women in the world that are running that. You know, we've been really blessed over the last few years to have, you know, the great Casta Semenya, to have other great runners in the sport that have really taken the 155, 6, 7s and made them look normal. But when you take some of those people out, most of the races you see, you're getting 158s, 157, 159s. To see Phoebe Gill running that time the other day, I'm calling sweep. I'm just calling sweep. That's it. Sweep, sweep, sweep.
So it's a Britain 1, 2, and 3.
Yes.
Brogan, I mean, come on. Let's break this down. I mean, it hasn't happened before. We've got so many great 800-meter runners, females at the moment, and they're just pushing each other on, aren't they? But be honest now, we've got the Kenyan Mary Moore, who's luckily Mo's not there. Is it Mo from America? She didn't make it through, but opportunity knocks, isn't it, for Great Britain this time around?
I think it's definitely. I think it could be a sweep.
Wow, you agree with Fanfletics?
I do,
yeah.
Because the thing is, it's those girls, the British girls, are continuously getting better. Like, they may have one race where it's not their best or it's not the time they want, but again, when you go to the Olympics, you want the title. You don't care what time it is, as long as you can go and say, "I've got that gold medal."
Yeah.
You don't care if you've ran the 100 in 15 seconds. No one cares unless you've got that title. So I think that none of those British girls are going to let it, even if they don't win it, they're not going to let it go easy, and it's going to be a fight, and the British girls are going to win the fight.
Just curious. I mean, Mary Moore, she won the championship, didn't she? But maybe some people suggest that she was being she ran a smart race by slowing it up and then kicking as well, and stop Keely from having that flow to sort of. Do you remember that race from last year where she sort of ran in front of her, slowed it down, and then went again, and no one could sort of live with her that day. So it's about strategy a lot of the time. This is why Seb Coe was world record holder for so many years, but never won a major 800 meters. You know, because it's a very difficult race to be consistently winning, every 2 years. Be the champion in that event. Even David Rudisha, he didn't win every single championship as great as he was. So 800 meters is a very strategic race. Do you think Mary Moore has got a chance to go do that same strategy again? And how do you avoid that if you're Keely Hodgson, when you like to front run and just push?
I think that it's very clear that Keely Hodgkinson has unlocked the.
Sorry, I'm just going to go out and come in again because I've got some sound issues.
No worries. So, Brogan, as I say, I think it's very clear at the moment that Keely Hodgkinson has unlocked the key to beating Mary Moore. And Mary Moore, she's that smart girl. She will hold you back. She'll hold you back, and then she'll sprint off around the top bend, out around the back bend, and comes flying into the home straight, hug that inside lane, and she's going for the win. But I think, as we've seen, Keely knows how to beat her now. She's like, run my own race. I'm just going around you. If you want to slow it down, that's fine. I'm going to leave you 5, 6, 7 girls behind me. And then I'm going to let you have to come around those people. And Gemma Reekie, I think she knows the back of Keely Hodgkinson's shirt better than the back of her own eyelids, because she knows that if she wants to win a medal, she's had to stick behind Keely Hodgkinson and run as fast as she can following her. She knows Keely's technique, and she knows her strategy is strong. She knows that that's what's going to win something. So if I want to win, I need to hug her. And I've seen her in the last few races where they've been together. She's literally mirrored Keely completely, and she's followed her home. And then when it's time to unleash at the end, she unleashes almost with as much strength. So I think Mary Mora's the jig is up. The jig is up. And I think that now everybody knows what it's going to take. She now really has to say, right, am I an 800-meter runner, or am I just a 400-meter runner trying to play with these girls? That's how I feel at the moment.
100%.
So what we go, so as Guna's saying here, Hodgkinson, Mora, and Atkins, Nina Atkins to win, come third. Keely should win, says Sashi Guna as well. And I'm calling it from now, Hodgkinson, Mora, and Gill. Wow, fantastic. I mean, yeah, we could get 2 medals in this. It's like the 80s again with Seb Coe, Peter Elliott, Steve Cram, and Ovett, all in contention. The British middle distance running is coming on leaps and bounds, and based on that, I'm going to move on now. Yeah, it's going to be a sweep. He says it's definitely a sweep. 1, 2, 3. From that, let's go on. Is there an opportunity again? Because we saw, unfortunately, some sad news today that the former world champion had to pull out with injury in the 1500. But we got a great race in hand because this year, Ingebrigtsen has run 3:26, and the world record is 3:26.00. And he's one of only 3 men to ever run 3:26. So he's on fire. Well, obviously, it's down to a race. Who's the British guy, Scottish guy who's
Josh Kerr.
Josh Kerr. Yeah, let's talk about his.
Dad loves him.
We all love him. We all love him. We all love him.
I think that's tuning in now because we're talking middle distance. Yeah, how's this go down? I mean, obviously, Ingebrigtsen might be the best, but doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win medals. Kerr done fantastic. Who's the other guy? Whiteman.
Whiteman.
Yeah. That the way they ran a similar strategy to beat Ingebrigtsen, and obviously when it's a race, when you're running at Monaco and you've got a pacemaker and you can run these fast times, yeah. But when it comes to the Olympics, it's a different strategy altogether, isn't it? So, who's the favourite? Anyone else that you could in consideration for medals in this race? Ingebrigtsen versus Kerr. Start with you, Fanfletics.
I think it's important to acknowledge what's happened over the last few years. You know, just like Keely unlocked the key to beating Athing Mo at the World Championships last year. She unlocked the key. She cracked the code to beating Murad. Now, I think people have cracked the code to beating Ingebrigtsen. Ingebrigtsen is a great runner. He can run with the best pacemakers, and he can come flying off the back of one of them and, you know, hit a really good time. But when you're running under pressure and when you're running with people behind you, I think it's very important to sometimes give the advantage to the person who's got the heart to run around, to go around. You know, and we all, I rewind, pause, replay, pause, go to the bathroom and come back watching Jake Whiteman run around Jakob Ingebrigtsen, and then watching and to see Josh Kerr do the same thing a tiny bit earlier. I think it was a tiny bit earlier maybe in the race. You know, I was there screaming like, yes, that's the key. That's the way to do it. So I think unless Ingebrigtsen has somehow realized that running at the front is not going to win it for him if he can't hold that space at the end, unless he starts hanging back like Timothy Chariot had to do to start, you know, contending with him a few years ago, I don't know if he's going to not come up for another loss. And as I said, mentioning Chariot, the former champion, I think for him, if he's back to his best, he's another contender as well.
He hasn't been back to sort of that 3:27 form for a while, has he? But yeah, it's interesting that Kerr versus Ingebrigtsen. What's your thoughts on that, Brogan?
Kerr has to win. It's that simple. It's very, very simple for me.
Simple as that.
Scottish family. He has to win. When he, what race was it? And he beat Ingebrigtsen. We were screaming. We went absolutely mental. It's no question. If it's Scotland versus anyone, it could be the world champion and a bloke who's never, ever ran a race in his life. I am going with the Scots. That's how it is. But also, Ingebrigtsen, you said he leads. He always leads. He always goes out first. And Josh Kerr he knows now, you stick behind. He's not going to be able to hold this pace. And if he does, then good for him. But Josh Kerr is very tactical and he knows what to do now. And I feel like in the pressure, Ingebrigtsen's going to go off like he normally does because, you know, it's the Olympics. You want to be the first one. You don't want to be barging and trying to get past people. And then Kerr's going to hold on and he's going to bring home a gold. So
usually when these guys, Whiteman and Kerr, have won, they've sort of taken it, been close, and 200 meters to go, which is always difficult to sort of go around someone on the bend. That's a tough way to do it. But so you basically got to stay with him. And I think Ingebrigtsen, a bit like Morsley and the world record holder as well, they start winding up from about 600 meters, don't they? And just picking up the pace. And then if you can go with me, then fine. But so you don't see, it's not like it's a gradual progression of pace, isn't it? And you have to be able to live with that. So you have to be on best form. I think when it comes to the kick, as we've seen with Kerr and Whiteman previously, I think, yeah, if you can be there on his shoulder and scare the life out of him and give him flashbacks, you know, and even say something to him around that bend, say, I'm coming, then maybe it could happen. But I do think when Ingebrigtsen is running 3:26, which I didn't think he was capable of this season, he must be in special form. Just quickly go to the comments here. We do the damn thing, saying Ingebrigtsen has been competing heavily for years and his body is beaten and worn. He comes from a long line of athletics family, so he has the experience, but it's taken his toll. So there's a question mark here. And I'm calling it Kerr, Chariot and Ingebrigtsen. Wow. And Norway all the way for the 1500, says Cecily Good. It's going to be a good race. One race that I'm I'm really crazy about at the moment. I'm really shocked. We haven't got much. Obviously, guys, make sure you come back because throughout the Olympics, we're going to have more shows. Last one I'm going to go on is the 800 meter for men. I cannot believe what we are seeing in this event this season. What is going on? It's mind blowing. The times these guys are pulling out. Now, look, who's the guy? All right, there's a guy, a British guy, who's broken. It's Ben Patterson. Your guy,
second all time.
Athletics put me onto a couple of years ago, and I started watching him say, "Wow, he is talented." He ran 142 this season, but there's been 3 or 4 guys out of the blue, Algerian guy, and some others as well. I want to say, sorry, before we go on, DA saying, yes, Fanfletics. You got fans in the house. Make sure you subscribe to the Fanfletics channel. No doubt about it. Big up DA. So let's talk about 800. I'll come to you, Brogan, first. The men's 800 meters. What is going on that all of a sudden we got 5, 6 guys running 141, low 142s at the same time? This is crazy. It's like I've never seen this in my life before. Breaking Seb Coe's record. We got a new, new European record as well. There's a couple of guys, a French guy as well, but the Algerian's the one, and obviously the Kenyan guy, Wanobi, I think his name is. There's the Algerian guy, Sajati,
yeah.
Yeah, 141.46. The Kenyans run 141.58. Then we got a 141.61 from the French guy. Spanish guy at Watu or something. It's 142.09.04. And obviously going to Ben Patterson in that same race, he came 5th, but ran 142.27, which is one of the quickest times ever in all time. What's going on 800 meters? Why is there such a progression? And all of a sudden, out of blue, people are running these amazing times. Is it technology? Is it drugs? I don't know. I don't. Allegedly, who knows? But it does raise suspicion, doesn't it? When you see all these guys at the same time running these mad times, you know, especially the Algerian, because there's another Algerian a few years ago who won the doubled up in the 800 and 1500. And won the 2012 1500 as well, and he got busted for drugs all of a sudden. So, and then we got the Spanish North African guy.
McCluffy.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
Well, he came out of blue. And there's a Spanish guy running 5,000, 1500 recently. He got busted as well. So I don't want to speculate or allege anything like that. But why is the 800 meter blown up, Brogan, so quickly with all these great runners?
Well, I hope it's not drugs.
Yeah.
That I don't mess with that. That's not something that should be involved in the Olympics. But it could simply be that their coaches, they've got good training partners that maybe haven't made it to the Olympics or been selected or things like that. And some could be flukes. You never know. Some people could run really, really well under pressure. So when they're at these competitions, they're like, yeah, this, and they get that adrenaline rush. And with adrenaline, you can run, sky's the limit. You can run so fast. Just like their training programs, diets come into it a lot, especially with the 800 meter runners, how what they're putting into their body, because what you put in is what you get out. Like if you're eating McDonald's and everything like that, you're not going to run those times, but they're training harder than loads of athletes. Like 800 meters is hard because it's not a jog, it's not a sprint. It's you're just trying to gauge when you're meant to run really, really fast and when you're meant to hold back a little bit and pace yourself. But I think it's mainly their training partners, their diets, and just their programs, because obviously programs compared to how they were 10, 20 years ago, they're so much more detailed, specific. Like there's things that 20 years ago you'd be like, oh, that's fine, you can have a cheat day or whatever. Now they're strict. This is no, if you want this gold medal, you're going to have to fight for this gold medal. And if that means you're eating salads every day, you're going to have to eat a salad every day. That's what you're going to have to do.
So we do the Dan thing, says it's just the evolution of sport to have this. Over to you, Fanfletics. 800 meters, talk to me, man.
Take you back to London 2012, the greatest race of the entire championships, the race I have watched the most of all time.
Yes,
and David Rudisha really rewrote the history books. He rewrote the script for the sport. And I think if you see the people that came second and third behind him, I can't remember the guy's name now, but he just recently...
Nigel Amos.
Yes, yeah. He the way that they had to run behind him just for second and third, and I think Amos was in fourth or fifth before coming off the top end. I think what happened is that Rudisha told us and told the world, you have to sprint to win this race. You have to sprint to beat my record. And over the last few years, we've seen another Algerian, Mula, who was actually ahead of Sajati on in terms of results for a while. Actually, Mula and Sajati, they've been sprinting. And when I say sprinting, I mean they will sprint slowly and then they will pick up until we come into the home straight. Everybody for the last 2 years has been worried about where's Mula and where's Sajati, because they're going to come round and they're going to follow you. And Ben Patterson now, he's like, right, if you guys are sprinting, I'm sprinting. If I'm fifth or seventh in the home straight, I'm coming through and I'm sprinting. And I think what's happened is you've seen that with the times. No one's beat Rudisha yet, but if you saw those last 3 800-meter races, some of the greatest 800-meter races ever. And Sajati, he's every single day stretching himself like, oh my God, I can sprint faster. Oh my God, I can sprint. Suddenly, and I'll tell you there's another thing to it as well. And I think this is the thing that we should not look lightly upon. 400-meter runners are moving up to the 8. Back in the day, you had 1500 and 800, and that was the ones that paired up. Recently, we've had people that have decided, you know what, I'm going to go 1500 5K. You've got Ingebrigtsen doing that. You've had Sifan Hassan doing that. Segai's done that. Laura Muir's done that. One of our greatest, Scottish runners ever and British runners ever. So I think what's happening, the 400, just to shout you out, Brogan, but the 400 runners are moving up, and in that you've got pace as well as ability to hold the first leg. I mean, they're running negative splits at times in these races, and the women have done it, but the men now, they're really bringing it, and I think it's going to be one of the most exciting races, truly one I couldn't call, because although Sajati has done something amazing recently, there's a massive group of them, Tual, Arop, Mula, Ben Patterson as well. I'm just really gutted that Jake Whiteman is in that race, because I really feel like he had something to do and to prove in the 1500. And when you look at the way the trials came about, and much respect to everybody that came through and did what they did, because I love the British trials every year. It's great opportunity to see our runners coming up. But I think Jake Whiteman's been dealt a hard card there, because it is such a stacked event at the moment, and I think that Rudisha might be shaking in his boots in a few months, because that record is shaky.
Yeah, I never thought it would be, but with what's going on right now. Going back to 1976, the year I was born, there was a great Cuban athlete, wasn't there? He doubled up, done the 4 and the 800 meters. And you're right, there's a great point you made there, Fanfletics, about doubling up from 4 to 8. You don't see that often, but I'm surprised by that, because you need, like you're saying, is Brogan said as well, it's basically a sprint these days. It's absolutely crazy. So that's a really exciting event where we could see a world record drop. We will be back. Let's do another show in the next couple of days. Want to keep it to an hour, but just go through a couple of comments before we shut down. Sajati is doing, probably saying he's going to win the race there. That's what he means. And decathlon best athlete in the world once again. Damien Warner does it again with world champion Piers LePage out injured, and Leo Negenberger silver, with Kevin Mayer bronze. Quickly, greatest decathlon men all time.
It's British. It's British. It's definitely
Have you guys
Thompson.
watched Linford Christie and the Daley Thompson?
Absolutely. Yep. It's a bit heartbreaking, to be honest. A bit heartbreaking to watch, because when you're there and you're watching it, I'm not going to shout my age out, but when you've seen some of those two athletes, running and doing their thing. Daley Thompson was my hero as a youngster. I was a decathlete before I dropped down to the 4 and the discus, and he was my hero. And I think Linford Christie as well. We've seen that journey, and that's just not too long ago. Brogan, maybe for you, you did it so much, but I remember Linford Christie, at 96 games, and the 92 games. So heartbreaking documentaries to watch, but I think stories that really needed to be told.
Yeah, it's about time. I think what's disgraced me is that in 2012, Linford Christie is one of the best coaches, and he wasn't even allowed in the stadium. I just think it's such disgraceful. I think he fell out with Seb Coe or something. There's something going on, but this is someone who should be an icon of British athletics, and
absolutely
glad he's finally got a documentary and able to talk. It's a bit too late, and no wonder that I feel you can see he's always been a bit peed off by what's happened with his career. He was the golden boy, and it was big for him. He was massive back
Yeah,
in the
but I'm
day.
going to stop you there. It's not
Yeah.
too late, because Linford Christie was the greatest runner and the Olympic champion in the age of TV really blowing up. The time when suddenly people were having more than 2 channels. Now he's had this documentary come out. He's almost getting a slight level of vindication at the time of social media, and he's still coaching. He's known as one of our greatest coaches, one of our greatest personalities. You know, when I was a kid in school, we were watching Linford Christie become the Olympic champion, and his name is iconic. And I think that hopefully it's not too late. And I think much respect to the man.
Most certainly. Have you seen those documentaries, Daley Thompson and Linford Christie, Brogan?
No, but I promised Dan.
You're too busy watching Netflix.
I'm too busy watching Sprint. That's all I've been watching recently.
Talk to us about the Sprint documentary, because we've seen in the past F1. There's a documentary F1 and that blew up in America. Now they've got so many fans in America. We've seen it with NFL and that blew up over in Europe, and now everyone loves NFL. So do you think the same thing will happen with that Sprint series for athletics worldwide?
I think because there's like documentaries on specific athletes, and like obviously Usain Bolts and things, and documentaries like that, but this is very much like a build up to these big competitions, what they go through, how, and you see and you watch them and you're like, right, so when you get closer to a race, this is what your training is. When you're a little bit at your outer season, this is how you train. And you see, and it's like they live, like that's all they do. They train, they compete. And it's like, if I was a kid, I would be like looking at that going, oh my God, that looks amazing. And I still do. I'm still like, oh my, I would dream to do that. Just train. You don't have to worry about anything. All you got to do is run fast. Do you know what I mean? And it is entertaining because it's like they're all in one room and the cameras are on each individual one and they're speaking about them. And it's like, oh my God, so there's actually a little bit of drama.
Yeah.
It's amazing, but you really get to see them as a person and like they're coming, like what they did when they first started and how they got into it and the love that they had for it from such a young age. And like Noah Lyles, like he's not my favorite, but when I watched it, I was like, he genuinely is such a genuine person. He suffered with, I think it was like chronic asthma. And he wasn't allowed to join in sports. And now he worked his way around that, managed it, and he's running close to world record times. It is amazing. I recommend it to anybody who loves athletics.
Yeah.
It's good. It's going to put athletics back on the map, and you have to give respect to Noah Lyles for putting himself out there and making himself a name. I remember he said he peed off all the basketball players by saying, "World athletics. If I'm the fastest in the world, I am the fastest, literally in the world. You call yourself world champions in the NBA when you're only playing in America, you know." And then suddenly it's an outburst. But you need a personality like that, and I think he's taken the reign of athletics. And good luck to him. But all it means now, he just has to back it up by winning some medals. And we've discussed today. Obviously, we're going to time out now. I just want to say hi to Jackie. Jackie, thanks for tuning in. Big respect to you. Daley Thompson proved it over and over again. Yeah, Daley Thompson liked him as a kid, says Guna. Also saying here, proven was just not Brendan Johnson. It was just not Brendan Johnson that did roids. Everyone at the race did steroids, apart from De Silva, by the way. No vindication for Ben there, of course. Sprint is a playoff. The NFL doc, really good way to read into the psychological thought process of sprinters. And Donovan Bailey is a true GOAT with what he's saying. I'm sure you're Jamaican. Just going back, I think they show the good side of sprint, but they don't show the side where you're like vomiting and the training session. You were picking it up there, Brogan. But I'm sure we're not seeing that side of it. Where
they show the nice sessions where you're doing block starts and it's all a bit fun and you're all dancing on the track. They don't show the winter sessions where no one's speaking, everyone's just kind of like that. They don't show those anymore.
Oh God. All right, so the Olympics is about to start. We've touched on a few events. Obviously, it's going to be the sprints over the next couple of days, and we've got the 10,000 meters coming up as well. That's going to be interesting to see who wins that race. I would go into it, but we haven't got much time. But first of all, I just want to say to Fanfletics, guys, I'm going to put this, if you look in the comments, guys, I'm going to put this up again, but Fanfletics, big up to you. You've got your own channel now. You talk fantastically about Fanfletics, and I want everybody to seek this out. I'm going to put it in the comments right now. Look in the comments, guys. This is Fanfletics right there. Let's see. There we go. at Fanfletics TV. And I want you to give us a little plug about what Fanfletics is all about. Over to you, Fanfletics.
Well, first of all, to quote the great Omar McLeod, "Hello UK." Listen. I've watched athletics for years. I've followed it around the world, well, around Europe, and I just really have been really disappointed and really disheartened at the way that it's just fallen back as a national and global sport. And I just feel like, you know what, I've got a bit of a big mouth. I'm influential in different areas. Why don't I try and come and influence the world, and starting with our country, to start to enjoy athletics again? Every school class, every single person in every class in school can do one or another athletics event. Yeah. As I was saying to you before, Yabba, we had a fat girl in my class. Take a larger girl, I should say. She was maybe not so good at some things, but she was a bad shot putter. We had a bigger guy that was a sick javelin thrower, and then we were all meanwhile trying to run for those 4 spots in the relay team. And as we fell off of it, suddenly I became a 400 runner and a discus thrower. Everybody in a class in a school can do some sort of sport. And if you tell me that there's a disabled person, great, because we've got the Paralympics. So this is truly a global inclusive sport. And keep an eye out in the new year, because following for next season, we're going to start the Fanfletics Track Club, where we're going to select athletes from each event in the Paralympics and the Olympics, or Paralympic and Olympic events, and we're going to follow them through the year to the championships. Now, I ain't Netflix, but we're still going to chill, and we're going to do it right. And we're going to go to some schools, hopefully some track clubs in the local area and beyond. And I really want to start being part of that change that brings athletics back to the fore. Because what's more exciting about being in a stadium and watching someone throwing a javelin, someone doing a high jump, someone doing a pole vault, and then the lights go down and you watch a 100-meter final? For me, there's no other sport that encompasses like true teamwork and individualism in the same way as athletics. So I want to be someone to bring that, back to where it should be, as far as I'm concerned.
So just a quick question here. Good. He's saying, not a YouTube channel. He's asking the question. It is a YouTube channel. There's the yeah, that's it. Spelled right. Fanfletics TV. That's right.
And it's new, guys. Listen, it's new. I've just set this up because you know what? I had enough of watching other people's channels all around the world arguing, going back and forth about this and that. And I felt there was a tiny bit of a lack of positivity. I don't go back and forth on the internet. If I can't see you face to face, why are we arguing online? We can have a cool debate, but I want to make it so that there's pure positivity and pure bigging up the athletes, because at the end of the day, when they're training, as Brogan said, in the sweat, in the mud, in the cold, in the rain, and we're sitting in our house, who are we to be telling them that their PB is not good enough or that they're not, doing this and that? So cuss the coaches, not the athletes. But as far as I'm concerned, this is one of the ways that we're going to try and bring the sport back to where it should be. And Michael Johnson doing a really good thing at the moment, trying to introduce different leagues. But you know what? The sport is called in America track and field for a reason. And I think that we need to encompass all ends of it. So that's my goal. And I hope you guys will come along with me and bring your friends.
Brilliant. You know what? Great endorsement there. That's right. Can't wait. Fanfletics says do the damn thing. That's right, guys. I will put it as well. And at the end of the show, I'll put it in the comments. The link as well to find Fanfletics. It's going to be on YouTube very soon. Make sure you follow this man. This man's got a big passion for the sport. And if you love it too, you'll be there. I'm going to come to you in a sec, Brogan. Just quickly, I want to say hi to Mel Green. Says, evening, blessed good people. Blessing to you, Mel Green. Enough respect, my music guru. No doubt about it. The beautiful Christine Howley, also from Maidenhead. She met your dad the other day. She met your dad. It's my girlfriend. She met your dad and we went out for a football do. And she met, and Gary's going, yeah, Maidenhead. Telling her about all the places we've been to in Maidenhead, all these pubs, everything else. So big up to Christine. Lovely to see you. And also, talking about Paralympics, Sassy Good is saying here, my cousin-in-law in the Paralympics rowing after getting paralyzed in a bus crash while he was a Canadian hockey goalie. Wow. So there you go. It can happen. Anyone can do it. Can't wait for Fanfletics, of course. And big up to the Paralympians. Awesome. No doubt about it. Brogan, just tell us, you're taking a year off. Once again, just remind the people that you're an athlete, sprinter, and what you plan to do in the future as well. And are you going to come and join Fanfletics and stay on the track and field agenda as well?
I definitely will. I think I need to get back into it 100% because I miss it. Like I'll see, like this season, obviously this summer I haven't ran, but you see the videos and my friends will send me their videos and I'm like, oh, I'm not in that relay. Like, oh no, like I really miss it. So I want to get back into it as soon as possible, but starting midway through the season doesn't really make sense. So I'd rather start fresh with everyone else. But I want to go into coaching and get my coaching courses all done. So then I can, even when I'm a bit older, I probably won't be at the peak I am now, but I can help younger kids like I am at Maidenhead United now, doing sports. Today we had our Olympics day, where we did all our sports. So just getting younger kids into the Olympics, and not into the Olympics, but into athletics, and hopefully into the Olympics someday. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Well, thank you so much again for joining us. Obviously, Olympics is kicking off now, so we will be doing reviews, maybe daily, maybe every couple of days, but it's going to be a fantastic weekend. I mean, we've seen the schedule. It's the 100 meters coming up, the heats. Then we got the finals, both men and women. And you guys, I might even clip what you said, your predictions, and see who got it right at the end of the next, day 4 it is.
Do it, sweep. I'm saying sweep. You know what? I just want to say. I always, I try to go on holiday for my birthday. You know, my birthday's coming up, and all I can say is that I stayed for some of these races. You know, and I'm so excited for Monday. I really think it's going to be a sweep, and I'm there, and I'm going to be there with my broom on a live if I can be, just calling it out for the British girls. So yes, 1, 2, 3, sweep.
Gold, silver, and bronze. Yeah, hopefully that will happen. But guys. All right, it's been an exciting show, but I'm going to top it off with the best thing ever. You saw it at the start, and I'm going to play it again. It's the intro and outro music for my channel, which is called the Man. No, I've got the Man United agenda, but this is the track and field agenda. But we got brothers and sisters in the house. Fanfletics as well will be having an even better intro, no doubt about it. So check that out as well. So please subscribe to Fanfletics. Subscribe to this channel as well. Big up to all the people who tuned in today. Big up to all the guests as well. But we are going to sign out with something amazing. You know James Brown. You know it's funky. We're getting into the Olympics. This will put you in the spirit. We're signing out with this tune from the Track and Field Agenda. Good night. God bless. And let the games begin.